You have spoken a couple of times now on the floor of the Senate about your concerns about the intelligence community under this second Trump administration. Can you explain to us what's happening and why we should be concerned?
I thought the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was totally unequipped to be the Director of National Intelligence. I led an effort. We came very close to defeating her. Because she is a rabid partisan, and she's been a rabid partisan she was a liberal Democrat, and then she's a MAGA person. She has, I would say unusual ties with Russia in terms of the Russian government is constantly, complimenting her. Um, we had that initially. Then we saw, in the early days, people being fired that were young CIA agents, and it takes a couple $100,000 to train as CIA agents, and firing those folks, I think, slowed down the human capital input. We've seen early on in the administration senior leaders fired because when they were trying to do an investigation into some of the uh, gangs in Venezuela and their ties to the Maduro government, and Maduro in Venezuela is a bad guy, let's acknowledge that. But they didn't come up with the conclusion that the administration wanted, and they got fired for that. And we've seen people who are undercover have their identities carelessly identified, which puts them in harm's way. And then this kind of evisceration and of the intelligence community really picked up steam in the summer when uniformed military officers, like the head of the National Security Agency, which is both NSA and Cyber Command, got fired for no reason at all, other than this right-wing zealot Laura Loomer didn't like him, or the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, who made the assessment of the Iran bombing, saying, it was very powerful, but he wouldn't use the words obliterated, which it was not obliterated, and we know that now, and he got fired for that. And we've seen, at the FBI, enormous loss of all of our, career top officials, because they oftentimes wouldn't bend the knee. And all of these actions combined make us, one, less secure, two, makes our intelligence partners around the world really concerned about what the hell's going on here. This has never happened at this level before. And then, three, it's like, I'll cite the FBI for an example. When you take, in some field offices, up to 45% of the agents who are doing counterterrorism or doing cyber or even doing sexual exploitation crimes, and take them off those missions and stick them on immigration raids, that doesn't make any sense. You put this all together, and I try not to be over the top partisan, but just saying this is not making America safer.